Kitchen Disco by Claire Foges and Al Murphy. At night when you are sleeping, there's a party in your house. It's a pumping, jumping, funky bash when all the lights go out. In the quiet of your kitchen, when the moon is shining white, the fruit jump from the fruit bowl and they dance all through the night. Banana is the DJ who plays the latest hits. He spins, he jumps, he somersaults, then does banana splits. The lemons are the show-offs. They really love to rap. They breakdance on the chopping board and tap dance on the tap. The coconut is cheeky. He makes the others laugh. He dives into the washing up and has a bubble bath. Whee! So shake it like a mango, party like a pear, wiggle like an apple, hey, and dance like you don't care. It's called the Kitchen Disco and everyone's invited. So move your hips and shake your pips and let's all get excited. The tangerines go bouncy bounce, they like to scream and shout. One tangerine spun round so much that all her juice came out. The pineapple is very cool, he wears his hair in spikes. He hangs out by the microwave, high-fiving fruit he likes. So shake it like a mango, party like a pear, wiggle like an apple, hey, and dance like you don't care. It's called the Kitchen Disco and everyone's invited. So move your hips and shake your pips and let's all get excited. The grapes are such a silly bunch, they boogie in a conga. When all the other fruit join in, the conga line gets longer. The pears have big fat bottoms, they groove across the floor. The apples wave their stalks around and scream for more, more, more. So shake it like a mango, party like a pear, wiggle like an apple, hey! Just dance like you don't care. It's called the Kitchen Disco and everyone's invited. So move your hips and shake your pips and let's all get excited. At breakfast time, the party slows. The fruit must go to bed. They climb into the fruit bowl and they rest their sleepy heads. So if you're in the kitchen and you hear them sing this song, then don't ask why and don't be shy. Come on and sing along. Hi, so today we are going to have a look at statements. Now, statements are one of 4 types of sentences. All sentences fall into 4 categories. There are statements, commands, questions, and exclamations. Now, a statement is punctuated with a capital letter at the beginning, as are all of the sentence types. It obviously needs finger spaces, it needs gaps in between each of the words. And then at the end, the punctuation that you need in a statement is a full stop. Now, a full stop is a dot that sits on the line. So it sits at the bottom of those letters on the line. And a statement is probably the easiest of all of the sentence types because most of the things that we read, so the things that we read in stories, lots of those are statements, and the things that we read in non-fiction, in information books, most of those are statements. So if I want to write a statement about my tomato, what could you write about my tomatoes? If you tell me something about it, then you're writing a statement. Lots of sentences fall under this category. So what could you tell me about my tomato? The tomato is red. Brilliant. Could you tell me anything else? The tomato is oval. Not round as such, but it is oval, isn't it? What about the plum? The plum is purple. The plum is round. The plum is light. I have a plum. I am eating a plum. They are all statements. So I can talk about things that are being done. So I am putting my hair behind my ear. That's a statement. I can talk about things that have been done. I brushed my teeth this morning. I can describe things. My hair is long. All of those are statements. So a statement tells us something, but that can also be part of a story. So once upon a time, there were 3 little bears who lived in a cottage in the woods is a statement. It's story language and it's telling a story, but it is a statement. The most important thing to remember with a statement is the punctuation. and that is that we need a full stop. And that's why they're so common. It's why it's one that we possibly don't always identify properly as a statement, because they're the sentences that we are used to writing every day. So let's have a go at writing a simple statement about the plum. So let's start with the plum. So we use a capital T. The plum is, and then what are you going to put on the end? The plum is, yeah, I chose round. The plum is round. And here's my full stop here, look. It's a little dot and it's on the line by the bottom of the letters. So I don't have a line on this board, so I know where that place will be because it's at the bottom of those letters. But if I was writing on lines, then it would be sat on the line. I could also write, there is a plum in my fruit bowl. Have a go at writing a simple sentence about yourself. So write me a simple statement all about you. What are you going for? I didn't follow my instruction very well. I have long blonde hair. I used 2 adjectives to describe my noun. So I needed a comma in between the 2. I used 2 adjectives, 2 describing words to describe my hair. It is long and it is blonde. So I need a comma in between the 2. What did you write? They're great sentences. Well done. Okay, let's go for a sentence that uses my mango. And in our sentence, let's see if we can use the word and. So in our statement, let's see if we can use the word and to join 2 ideas together. So the mango is red and green. The mango is heavy and round. The mango is squishy and I think it will be juicy. Okay, let's have a go at writing one together. Let's go for the one that I just said. So the mango is round and I think it will be juicy. I use the word and to join 2 ideas together there because I have the mango is heavy and I also have I think it will be juicy. That could stand alone by itself and so could this. So my conjunction, my and, is joining those 2 ideas together. Sometimes it just tags an extra little bit on the end, but in this case I am using it actually to join 2 ideas together. So let's have a go at writing that together. So the word the is first. We need a capital T and then it's H and E. Well done. So the mango, man-go, man-go. And in this case, the O is an op by itself. The mango is heavy, squishy. I much prefer the word squishy. Let's go for that. The mango is squishy. Remember, E at the end of a word is a Y, not EE. So the mango is squishy and, let's use that conjunction in there, and I think. Now the word I is a capital letter, it's a capital I all by itself. It's very special, it's the only one where that works. Not at the beginning of a sentence. So that can be a capital letter by itself anywhere because it is a word. So, and I think it will be, and remember if it's be as in it's going to be rather than a bzz, bumblebee, it's only one E. So I think it will be juicy. And the S in juice isn't a S at all, it's a K. I think it will be juicy. And then what do I need at the end? You're right. I need a full stop. The mango is squishy and I think it will be juicy. Let's see if you can have a go at writing your own. What might you write? Could you write another sentence about the mango? I am going to write a sentence about a chili. There is a chili in my fruit bowl. I don't know why, but there is. So I am going to write a sentence, a statement about the chili. So what are you going to write yours about? Okay, how did you go? Brilliant. Can you read your sentence out loud? That's such great practice. Well done. Here's mine. The green hot chili is in my fruit bowl. Question mark. I think I've done it again. I think I've got things wrong. Never mind. Can you help me to fix them? It's all right to get things wrong as long as we learn from our mistakes. So can you help me fix them? The green hot... Oh, I used 2 adjectives and I remembered to put a comma in between them. What a great start. I remembered my capital letter and I'm using my finger spaces. Oh. This is bigger than all of my other letters. If it's bigger, that means it's a capital one. Do I need a capital C in the middle of my sentence? No. It's not a name as such. It's just a noun. I don't need a capital. Okay, let's carry on. The green hot chili. Oh. I've got another sneaky capital letter. Whew, I didn't do very well with that today, did I? The green hot chili is in... I? The word I as part of another word? No. I as a capital letter is a word all by itself. It's not a sound. It's not a grapheme. In this case, I need the I that is just Y by itself. There we go, look. The green hot chili is in my fruit bowl. Oh. What punctuation did a statement need? It didn't need that, did it? No, it didn't. It just needed that. Because statements start with a capital letter, they have finger spaces in between each of the words, and then at the end, they just have a full stop. We can use joining words, we can use conjunctions to join those ideas together within a statement, but they still finish with a full stop. Let's see if we can finish by adding a little bit onto the end of this sentence by getting rid of that full stop and using a conjunction. Let's use and we will add a little bit onto the end of the sentence. So far the sentence says, the green hot chili is in my fruit bowl and... Do you know what? I'm not going to use the word and at all. I am going to use the word but. I'm going to add another idea on using that. So the green hot chili is in my fruit bowl, but I don't know why. The green hot chili is in my fruit bowl, but I don't know why. Now, I got rid of the full stop here and I added it back down here. So if I'm using a conjunction to join another idea onto my sentence, that's absolutely fine. I can do that, but I don't need a full stop before it. So I rub that one out, or I leave that one out if I haven't done it already. And then it goes at the very end of the sentence. we don't have a full stop partway through. So if we use and or but or so or because to join additional information on, then we don't have a full stop there. The full stop goes at the very end of our sentence, at the end of our statement. And if we're unsure about where the full stop needs to go, then we need to look for, in a statement, there will be a who and a what. Now, the who isn't always a person. In this case, it's my chili. And in this sentence, the chili is my who, and in my fruit bowl is my what. So that's my who, and then I've got a what. So the full stop would come there. However, I used a conjunction to join but on, and then the next bit, there's a who and there's a what. So I, and then don't know why is my what. I, who, don't know why, what. So if we have a look at, let's have a look at one final thing. So if we are trying really hard to know where our full stop needs to go within a piece of writing, then we look for the who and the what of the sentence. And when we've got a who and a what, we'll know where the full stop needs to go, because generally it's there unless there is additional information. So I can write, this evening my fruit bowl, this evening my fruit bowl is having a party in the kitchen. Now, there's lots of additional information here which could make it trickier, but it doesn't need to. So, who? My fruit bowl. That's my who. What? Having a party. But the next bit of information just tells me where. So it's just added information. I could put a full stop here, but the next bit, in the kitchen, wouldn't make sense as a sentence because it doesn't have a who or a what. This is just added extra. So my full stop can't go there, it must go here. So I've got my who and my what. Then I read what comes next, and it might be where, or it might be how, or it might be when. In this case, my when is at the beginning. And all of those things are just extra information. We can skip to the next bit of that, and probably the full stop will need to go there. If I've joined with a conjunction, it might be a little bit longer. If I'm really unsure, I can check back at the detail that was there. And I can check the next bit, because if the next bit has a who and a what, if it would stand alone as another sentence, then it probably needs a full stop there if it doesn't have a conjunction. So if the next bit of my sentence hadn't have been in the kitchen, if it had been, this evening my fruit bowl is having a party, everyone is invited, then that's two sentences, because my fruit bowl was my who, and having a party was my what in the first bit, but at the end, everyone is my who and is invited is my what. So both bits had a who and a what, therefore they were both proper sentences by themselves, and there was no conjunction to join them together, so they would both need to be punctuated with full stops. Wow, that's a bit complicated. But you can do it because you're amazing. Just keep practicing. You'll find statements everywhere you look. Whatever you're doing for the rest of your day, have a great day. Goodbye. Hi. So today we are going to have a look at this. This means half. If we look at this, what it really means is one of two equal parts. One of two equal parts. So this means one half. Because if I have two equal parts, then I have two halves. I've split it in half. Now, what's quite important to remember, and this is the same with any fraction, is that bottom number, the parts have to be equal. So if I have a tomato and I just nibble the tiniest bit off the end, I have two parts, but they're not equal. because equal means the same, and they are not the same. This part was loads bigger than the part that I ate. So that's quite important to remember. The parts have to be equal, and equal just means is the same as. So half, 2 equal parts. We're going to have a look at some fruit. We're going to see if we can work out how we would split it in half, whether there's more than one way of splitting it in half, and then we'll look at some shapes and do the same, and then we'll have a look at some numbers. So let's start with a pineapple. I can split my pineapple in half, but I can only do it one way. Can you work out how I could split it in half, and why does only one way? Because if I were to get my knife, this knife would not cut through this. If I was to get my knife, if I cut it down the middle like this, like here, then I would have 2 halves. I would have cut it in half. But if I were to cut it here, like this, I would not have 2 parts. I would have 2 parts, but they wouldn't be equal. I wouldn't have 2 halves. Can you have a think about why? Yes, well done. Because if I cut it straight down here, both parts will be the same. They will have some of the leaves, they will have some of the flesh. They will be the same. Put them back together, they will make the whole thing, but they will be the same. Whereas if I cut it here, which was my other suggestion, then one of those bits will have all of these leaves and the other bit will only have this. So they will not be the same. I won't have cut them in half. So I can cut this down there one way and I'll have half. Okay, let's pop that back in my fruit bowl and let's have a look at the chilli. I'm not sure why there's chilli in my fruit bowl, but that's a story for another day. So my chilli, how many different ways can I cut my chilli in half? Or is it like the pineapple where I can only do it once? You are absolutely spot on. Because it has a stalk at the top, I can only cut it going vertically. Ooh, that's a good word. Can you say it? Vertically. I can only cut it going down because if I cut it going across, one has the stalk and the other doesn't. They would not be equal. They wouldn't be the same. Okay, what about then if I have a satsuma? So I have a satsuma here. Now this one I can cut lots of different ways because I could cut it this way. I could cut it this way. I could cut it going down. I could cut this lots of different ways because it is round and evenly shaped, because it is spherical, it's a sphere, like a ball. So I can cut this in lots of different ways. A banana. Can I cut a banana in half? Yes, well done, you're getting the hang of it. Yes, I can, but it has to go down this way vertically. Well done, good remembering. So that the pieces are the same. If I were to cut it here, the pieces would not be the same because, again, it has a stalk. Stalks make things tricky, don't they? What about the plum? Yeah, the plum works in exactly the same way as the satsuma. Well done. Okay, let's have a look at some different shapes then. Some different common 2D shapes. So I will tell you what they are and we will see if we can work out whether or not we can cut them in half. Triangle. Absolutely, we can cut the triangle in half because we can go straight down here and we would have 2 equal parts. We can equally actually cut this in a different way. If it's an equilateral triangle, if all of the sides are the same, then we could also cut it that way or that way, and we would have 2 equal parts. So in actual fact, if it was an equilateral triangle, if all 3 of the sides were the same, then we could cut that in half 3 different ways. What about a square? Yeah, there's loads of different ways for this. We can cut it in half going down, ignore the fact that they're nowhere near straight. We can cut it in half going across. cut it in half, go in diagonally, cut it in half, go in diagonally. And both bits would be the same on either side. So half meant one of two equal parts. So if we can do that with fruit and we can do it with shapes, then we can also do that with numbers. Now, some numbers we might just know. We might just be able to think of a number and work out half of it because we know the double for it. So, for example, we might be able to work out that half of 4 is 2 because we know double 2 is 4. So if 2 and 2 make 4, then half of 4 split into 2 equal groups, is going to be 2. But there's a really easy way that we can work it out. We can draw it or we can sort it. So I have some blueberries here. They would work for sorting. So if I'd got, let's have a look. Just using my counting in twos there to count them. So I have 8 blueberries here. 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 4 down there and there's 4 up here. I could sort my 8 blueberries into 2 groups by putting one on this hand and then one on this hand. And then pick one up here and 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 one up here. And now you can see that I have the same number in each hand. I have 4 in this hand and I have 4 in this hand. So I have the same amount. So I can count out the amount that I want to work out half of, and then I can split them into 2 groups, either by pushing them here and pushing them here, and then counting and making sure they are the same. There aren't many things that you'll be able to use both hands and count them and hold them in your hands, but you can push them apart into 2 separate groups. Or what we could do is we could draw it. Now, drawing it with half is useful because we can use that when we come to then draw with other numbers. So how I would do this is I would just draw a line straight down the middle, because half means one of 2 equal parts. And then if I was going to work out half of 10, I would sort my 10 by putting 1 on this side and 1 on this side until I get to 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then what I need to do is just double check. So on this side I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on this side I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they are equal, they are the same. So I can say with quite confidently that half of 10 is 5. Let's do another one together. So let's rub out my dots because we don't need them, but I will keep the line down the middle because I do find that very useful just for helping me to remember. I don't have to be quite so neat with my dots then, but I do have to be big and clear with them, otherwise I can't count them. So let's see if we can work out what half of 14 is. 1 here, until we get backwards and forwards until we get to 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then we'll count and double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, they are the same. So half of 14 is 7. That is all well and good. But if I'm trying to find half of a bigger number, that's going to take me forever. So I can use some of the other facts that I know. So if, for example, I wanted to find half of 24, I know that 20 is made up of 10 and 10. So there's my 20. And then I could do my 21, 22, 23, 24. And now I've got 10 and 2 more, which I know to be 12, and I've got exactly the same thing there. So I don't have to always do it as individual ones. I could do it in tens, and if I was doing an even bigger number, so I'll leave those tens there, but if I was doing an even bigger number, so if I was doing the number 46, let's do 46. So I can do my tens by going 10, 20, 30, 40, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I've got 10 and 10, which makes 20, 21, 22, 23, and then just check 10, 20, 21, 22, 23. So I can do that and split it even using bigger numbers, because I can use my tens and my ones knowledge to help me when it comes to splitting numbers. Now, where this will become a little bit trickier is if I said that I want you to split the number 52. So there's my line, my two different sides. 10, 20, 30, 40. Oh no. If I put 10 here for 50, then it's not, that's not going to be right, because I'll have too many here. Let's just put that 10 down there for a minute. So it was 50 and then it was 2. So there's 1 here and there's 1 here. Right, I've still got this 10 left that I didn't do anything with. Either I could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I could go backwards and forwards until I'd got 10. I could do it with ones. Or I know that 5 and 5 make 10. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put 5 here. And I am going to put 5 here. And then I can go 10, 20, 25, and one more is 26. 10, 20, 25, 26. So I can use that information that I already have to help me when it comes to splitting it. And if I couldn't remember that, or if it was tricky to do the math when we've got it and it looks like that, then we could absolutely do it in ones. So let me just show you what I mean by that. Let me just rub out those 5s and I'll show you what I mean by that and what I would have done instead. Instead of having the number 5, basically we would have 5 dots plus the extra one, so it would be 6 dots on both sides, and then it would be really clear to see we've got 20 and 6 more. So we could do it like that. If that makes it easier, that's absolutely fine. All we're interested in is finding half, and half just means 1 of 2 equal parts. So let's just have one final look at what that sign means. 1 of 2 equal parts. 1 of 2 equal parts. If my sign were to say this, I would have both of them. I would have 2 of 2 equal parts. I would have the whole thing. So if I had cut my chilli in half and I had 2 of 2 parts, 2 halves, I would have the whole thing again. Right. Well done. You did a really super job today. See if you can visualize half of the things that you see around you. Some things will split equally and some things won't. I wonder what you'll find. Whatever you find, have a great day. Bye-bye. Hi. We all need food for energy to help us survive. Animals are no different. We are, in fact, an animal. We are a mammal, aren't we? And we're going to have a look at food chains today for energy transfer. So we're going to have a look at food chains that have 4 parts to them, because there are 4 important words that we can learn. Now, not all food chains do. Some food chains have less links in them, and some food chains have more links in them. And some are a big old complicated web, because lots of animals and animal systems and ecosystems rely on each other to survive. Let's get into it and have a look at the food chain and the 4 different elements of the food chains we are going to look at today. Food chains will always start with a producer that produces, that makes its own energy. Because don't forget, food chains are all about a transfer of energy, and that energy has to come from somewhere. Generally, they are plants and they make their energy using the sun. We'll talk about that in a minute. Then there's a consumer. The consumer eats the producer. Then we have the prey that eats the consumer. And then we have the predator that eats the prey. A bit like the nursery rhyme about the old woman who swallowed a fly. It eats this, eats this, eats this, eats this. It's like a little chain. And it's all about transfer of energy. So let's start with those producers. Producers are generally plants or algae or organisms that can produce, that can make their own energy. Now, green plants do this from the sun using a process called photosynthesis. Can you say that? Photosynthesis. Yeah, that's a tricky word. And it's quite a complicated process, but it's basically the means that the plants use to turn the energy from the sun into energy to keep them alive. Now, and that the other animals further along the food chain can eat, that they can keep as their energy. Now, there are also things in the ecosystem called decomposers, and those decomposers put nutrients back into the soil because plants also gain nutrients through their roots through the soil, and that gives energy too, which is a little bit complicated, but is worth touching on. So producers come first. The producers are then eaten by consumers, generally herbivores. Herbivores, animals who have a plant-based diet. They don't eat meat at all. They only eat plants. So it's logical that they would eat lots of our producers. When the consumer eats the producer, the energy will be transferred from the producer to the consumer. A bit like when we eat food. The energy comes from the food to us and helps us to live our everyday life. And then we have the prey in our food chain. The prey, generally an omnivore, so an animal with a diet of meat and plants, will eat the consumer. It will also get energy from other sources. So it will also eat plants and berries and nuts and things like that to get energy from those too. And then there's a predator. At the end of that, the predator will eat the prey and get its energy from the prey. And the predators are generally carnivores. Now, it is worth pointing out that as humans, we are pretty much assumed to be top of the food chain. That's not to say that if you didn't just look at it purely scientifically, that there wouldn't be things out there that might eat humans as mammals. But generally, because of the way the world is, we as humans are top of the food chain, which is unusual because we are not carnivores. Most of us, lots of us, are omnivores. We eat meat and plants. And some of us are herbivores. We only eat plants. So it's unusual that we would be top of the food chain, given that. But that's an aside. There are some food chains where a herbivore or an omnivore is the top of the food chain. We're just looking at one that has all of those links in because that way we get them all in. So the energy is produced by the plant and then transferred to the consumer, to the prey, to the predator when the predator, the prey or the consumer eats the thing before them in the chain. That makes sense because we get our energy from our food. This is exactly the same thing. I think that's fairly logical. Let's have a little look. There's a load of pictures here. Some of them are producers, some are consumers, some are prey and some are predators. Let's see if we can work out what the different ones are. See whether or not we can work out which are producers, which are consumers, which are prey and which are predators. So let's have a little look. We've got a worm, a grasshopper, a wagtail, a frog, grass, apple, leaves, a bird of prey, a mouse, an owl, a hawk, and a fly. I guess the easiest ones to do are probably the producers first, because what do we know about producers? We know that producers produce their own energy. We know that producers are generally plants. So which three there would fall under that category? Yeah, the grass, the apple, and the leaves. There we go. We have our producers. Which ones then do we think might fall under the category of consumers? So which things do we think are the next step up that will eat the producers to get their energy? And generally, general rule of thumb, are herbivores. So have a look at the things that are left. Remember, we've discounted the grass, the apple, and the leaves. So ignore those, and then let's see if we can work out which ones we think might be the next stage along. I guess it's logical that they would be small, because things are going to eat them. Yeah, so the worm, absolutely, the grasshopper, and the fly, exactly. Okay, so we've got left the prey and the predators. Now, it might be easier to do the predators first, but let's see if we can do the prey first. Let's see if we can work out which ones of those things that are left would eat our consumers. So we said our consumers were worms, grasshoppers, and flies, and they were really small because they were quite close to the beginning of the food chain. So we thought logically that the further up the food chain they got, the bigger that they would get. So we want something that's a little bit bigger than our consumers, but maybe not the biggest things there. I reckon the mouse. Yeah, for sure. The frog. Yeah. And then the last one's trickier. But there are 4 birds left, but 3 of the birds that are left are birds of prey. So I think the last prey must be the wagtail, the little bird at the top. And then our predators are our owl, our hawk, and our bird of prey. There we go. Look, we were right. So our producers, leaves, grass, apples. If we were doing one that was underneath the water, then algae would be a good one to be there too. Algae is like an underwater organism that grows, and I guess seaweed and things like that as well that grow under the water that are eaten by the animals that live there. And then our consumers, we had our grasshopper, our worm, and our fly. And then the wagtail, the frog, and the mouse. And then the owl, the bird of prey, and the hawk. Okay, so now we know which ones are which. Which ones do we think are linked to each other? So there are obviously 3 food chains there. There are 3 flows of energy there. Which ones do we think are linked to each one? So have a think about which one do you think would eat the... So let's do it one stage at a time. Let's think about what we think would eat the leaves, what would eat the grass, and what would eat the apple, based on just the consumers. And then we can try and work it out as we go further up. I think that's probably the most logical way of trying to work it out, rather than trying to pick a whole line of one and then a whole line of the next one. I feel like we will come unstuck if we do that. We'll be left with something weird. I think that, well, a grasshopper eating grass would be logical because it's where it lives, it's where it spends all of its time. You always see flies around fruit. So I'm going to go the fly with the apple, which leaves the worm with the leaves. Oh, okay, right. So we've got leaves, worm, grass, grasshopper, apple, fly. Okay, so now which of those prey do we think will eat which of those consumers? I think Birds eat worms. Yeah, absolutely. Birds eat worms. Let's hook those guys up together. Frogs eat flies. Let's hook those guys up together. And that therefore only leaves Little Mousy and the grasshopper. Those guys must go together. And then out of our predators, I'm going to go for owls eat mice. Owls hunt mice. Yeah, every day. And then I'm going to go for the hawk, specifically with the frog, I think. And then the bird of prey at the top with the wagtail. So like a bigger bird eating a smaller bird, I think. And I think maybe some of those might well be interchangeable, especially those birds of prey. I think that they would hunt for lots of different things, but let's go for that. So let's have a look then at the food chains that we created. So we had the leaf eaten by the worm, eaten by the wagtail, eaten by the bird of prey. So the transfer of energy goes between them. And then we had the grass eaten by the grasshopper, eaten by the mouse, eaten by the owl. And then we had the apple eaten by the fly, eaten by the frog, eaten by the hawk. I wonder if you could have a think of your own food chains. Maybe they won't have 4 bits in, because that can be quite tricky. Or maybe they'll have more than that in. Maybe they'll have more omnivores in the middle, more animals that eat plants and animals. Or maybe they'll have more carnivores. Maybe there will be a predator and then the predator will have a... Oh, can I think of an example of that? I'm not so sure. I think it's more omnivores and then a predator at the end. See what you can come up with though. See if there are animals that live near you and see if you can work out where they get their energy from. You did a super job today. Well done. Bye-bye.
Hello Angel student. Today's lesson is all about journaling. Do you enjoy journaling? Do you like writing? Do you enjoy picking up a pen and paper and getting creative? Well, I'm going to break down the benefits and the uses and the different ways that you can use journaling today. So number 1, it allows you to write and express emotions in a private and safe place. Nobody's going to see it, nobody needs to read it, it's all yours, and it can distract you from any feelings that you're going through at that precise moment whilst you just concentrate and focus on writing and letting your pen flow. Number 2, you can create as you express. So the more you express yourself, the more creative you can get in doing so. You can use all types of words to describe what it is that you're thinking about, how you're feeling, what has happened in your day, what has happened in your morning, whatever it is you're writing about. You have free reign to express and use as much creativity as you possibly can with that pen and paper. And whilst you're doing so, however your creativity decides to flow, there is no judgment. There is nobody to tell you it's right or it's wrong, it's good or it's bad. It is all about you putting on paper what you think, what you feel, how you're feeling, why you're feeling that way. It's all how you want it to be. And that is all that matters. You're creating and you're writing from a heart space based on how your head and your body is feeling. Yes. And number 3, the more you write, the better you get at writing. So this can help with English, with language, with grammar. It can help you even in a future career. There are many, many, many paths that you can take if you are an excellent writer. So when you are journaling, you might not even think about it, but it is improving your communication and writing skills. Whether you know what you want to do on a professional level in the future or not, at this moment, is not entirely important. What is important is that you know that you have effective communication skills based on your journaling and how you are able to communicate because you are an excellent writer. And the more that you journal and the more that you express is the better you become at communication. And the better you become at communication is the better you become at connection with other people, because having excellent and great communication skills allows for beautiful and abundant and blossoming relationships with other people. Number 4, It allows you to look at the experience you're writing about and become more aware of how you're feeling internally and how you're feeling externally. So what I mean by that is it allows you to become more mindful. It allows you to go deeper and deeper into exactly how you're feeling on the inside, exactly what's making you feel that way on the inside. How is that making you then think about that same situation? Was there something that maybe you could have done better in that situation? Maybe something you could have said differently in that situation, or just handled it in a completely different way now that you've had a chance to look at it in a more relaxed environment. And then externally, how that may have affected anyone or anything else that had anything to do with what it is that you are writing about. Because sometimes when we have a moment to just sit down, take a breath and write everything out, it also sometimes makes us look at it a little bit different and understand on a deeper level what exactly might have been going on for us that maybe wasn't so obvious to everybody on the outside of us. And when we take the time to do this, we also have a better understanding of what it is that maybe we need more of, what we want, and how to make decisions based on that. Journaling can improve your memory. It can. You know, when I was younger and I wanted to learn a song, or I wanted to learn a particular part of a song, if I really liked it and I just wanted to know what all the words were, we didn't necessarily have a way of looking it up on Google, for example. So maybe the CD came with the words in it. That was pretty cool when they did that, but not everybody did that. So it may have been a thing of play and pause and play and pause to write the lyrics down. But it always helped to be able to retain those lyrics, to remember those lyrics, to imprint on my memory what those lyrics were when I wrote them down. I always found that was so helpful. It's kind of like when you're preparing for an exam, right? And you might write what you need to remember on small pieces of paper, or you might have a specific notepad or a study pad for that particular topic. And the more you write those facts or those bits of information, the easier it is for you to remember them. And it's just the same with journaling, because journaling, you don't only have to write about what you're thinking and what you're feeling, you could write about a specific topic. Supposing you have a topic that you find pretty challenging. Let's choose chemistry, or a subject that you think of, a subject that you find pretty challenging. And say you had a journal just for that specific topic and you wrote the things in there that you kind of find difficult to remember or just to get your head around. The more and more you practice doing that, I guarantee you, the easier, the better you will become skilled at remembering all of those points in that subject. Number 6, the more that you journal, the more you learn about yourself. You learn about your habits, you learn about your likes and your dislikes, you learn about who you are and who you want to be, who you're becoming, changes that you're making. It's very interesting. The more and more you write about you, your experiences, your wants, your dreams, all of that will give you a deeper look into who you are. And it can be a very beautiful thing. And in doing so, you may even naturally develop a sense of purpose in terms of what you want to do with your life, what contribution you want to make to your loved ones and the people around you, as well as the whole entire world. 7, I like this one. You get to write about whatever you want to write about. Earlier, I did say there's no right, there's no wrong. You don't have to write about your feelings. You don't have to write about your thoughts. You can write about absolutely anything. You could get into the practice of creative writing. You can write about trees. You can write about your surroundings. You can write about your environment. It can be absolutely anything. You're in charge. You get to pick the topic and you get to decide how your pen flows and what it flows about, because it is a place for you to write freely and independently. Number 8, you can dedicate space in your journal for gratitude. You can write all of the things you're grateful for, all of the things you have, all of the experiences you have had the opportunity of experiencing. You can write about the gratitude for your friends, all of the things that you have done, all of your happy memories, all of the things that have just made you feel amazing, happy to be alive, glad to see a new day. All of those things are a great mood booster. And who doesn't like a boost in mood? Number 9, it allows you to set goals. You can set goals that nobody needs to know about. They're just your goals. You have set them. You've given yourself the amount of time that you're going to take to reach those goals. Perhaps you like reading, for example, and there may be a new book or 2 or 3 that you want to read. So you decide in your journal that you're going to get those books and you are going to try to get them by a certain point. You got to ask someone to get them for you. I know it's not that simple. So you get your books and you read all of those books by a specific time. And then when you go back in your journal, that is a happy memory. That is also a memory to be grateful for. So that can be a gratitude one. That 1, you got all the books that you wanted, and 2, you read them all and you had a great time doing so, and 3, you were able to do it within the time that you set for yourself to do it. Because when you do that, essentially you are making yourself proud. And number 10, which is one of my personal favorites, you can write anything you want without feeling embarrassed. Sometimes there are things that we don't want to talk to people about, and sometimes there are things that we find difficult to talk to people about, and that's okay. That's perfectly normal. So sometimes it's easier to pick up a pen and paper, go into your journal and let all of that out without anyone having to know a thing. It takes away all the pressure. And I kind of look at journaling as someone to talk to, because you still are communicating, you're still talking of sorts, you're still getting everything out, you're still communicating, but it's in a private and safe space. So that pressure to talk about certain things and then somebody starts asking you loads of questions and then you feel even more awkward, that's not there. You have none of that with a journal. It will never ask you questions. We are all creative beings and we all have something super special to offer this world. And we are all on a path of self-discovery. And I feel that journaling is a very, very important part of helping you find and get onto that path. I would also encourage you to keep all your journals, because when you keep your journals, it gives you the opportunity to look back. You can go back and you can read your journals and you can see just how much you've grown and just how much you've evolved and just how much your thoughts have improved and your life has changed. It's a beautiful snapshot in written form of just how far you've come and how much you've blossomed. And of course, if you don't already have a journal or a notebook, because it doesn't have to be anything specific, it just needs to be a book, a notebook that is dedicated to you journaling in. So if you don't already have one and you're just itching to pour some of those things going on in your head on paper, please do ask if you can get one. And you've got many, many reasons that I've just given you as to why you want one. So perhaps have a think about exactly which one you want and come up with your own reason that resonates with you and that you decided, yeah, I want to start journaling because of this. We've got 10 points there. So you can definitely pick between 1 and 10 as to why you would like a journal. And I'm sure once you come with a very structured reason as to why you should have a journal, the answer will be yes. And you will soon be on your path to self-discovery. Thank you for joining me today, Angel students. Until next time, bye-bye.
Hello everybody, and follow me in practice one breathing exercise first. Slightly bend your knee. Breathing in, hands up. Breathing out. Whole body relax. And exercise your joint first. 1 foot wide. Raised and across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exercise your knee joint. Massage your knee, help your knee function. 1. Hold down much as you can. Stand up. 2. 3. 4. 5. Okay, relax your hips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Stretch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, keep your elbow arm, hands reach out far as you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One hand's up, one hand's down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. For your elbow and back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Arms straight. Relax your shoulders. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Shoulders down, head up, neck. Slowly. 1, 2, 3. Change. 1, 2, 3. On your shoulders. 1, 2, 3. Change. 1, 2, 3. Relax your back. 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so let's do one round stamina training. Then we'll do the routines together. So first, do some knee up, like a knee strike. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, Okay, because when you do kick, very important, leave your knee up, it's like a knee strike. Next we do squat, 10 times, stretch your back, stretch front of your body, 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 10. Okay, remember the first Kung Fu stance? Marble, 3.5 foot wide. And bend your knees. So we're gonna practice from here. Jump up 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. So now we're going to do 10 push-ups. So we'll do some punching later, so it's good to build up the upper body strength. Keep your arms straight, legs straight, body straight. 1. Push up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now let's practice relax punch. Following 2 foot wide. Clench your face. 1. Hands reach out far as you can. Deep breathing. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Little bit power. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Okay, good. Inhale and exhale. So last session we did marble, chant gumbo and punch, and we did a kick, block and punch. So this time we're gonna put the 2 movements together, yeah? It's like forms. So today we're gonna practice 2 movements. Follow me. Foot to the side a little bit. Inhale, hands up. And exhale. Hands pushing down. Cross your hands. Clench your face. Elbow back. Like an elbow strike. 1 marble. Both leg bends. Both hands cross. Change to gumbo. Yeah. Marble, punch, gumbo. And from here, left hand in waist, right leg kick. Then right hand block, and punch. Now, let's try one more time. We're going to face this way. Inhale, hands up. And exhale, hands pushing down. Clench your face. Cross your hands first. Then clench your face. Elbow straight. Marble. Both leg bends. Block. And punch. Change the gumbo. Front leg bend. Back leg push the floor. 单抬脚 kick 1. Then marble block. 2 block. Gumbo punch. Right hand block. Left hand punch. Right leg bends. Left leg straight. Okay. Let's practice 5 times. Follow me in. Inhale. And exhale. 1. Clench your face. Elbow straight. 2. Marble. 3. Punch. 4. Kick. 5. Block. 6. Punch. Okay. Let's try 4 more times. Going straight. Inhale. And exhale. Clench your face. Elbow strength. Marble. Punch. 2. Kick. Block. Punch. Stop. Clench your face. Elbow back. Okay, 3 more times. Inhale. And exhale. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale, hands up. And exhale. Elbow strike. Marble. Punch. Kick. Block. Punch. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, this time we're going to try exactly the same movement but different direction. Okay, so this time instead go to the left, we'll go to the right. Yeah, so same. Inhale and exhale. Earlier we went to left, this time going to the right. 1. Marble block. 2. 3. Kick your left leg. Left hand block. Then punch your right hands. Let's try one more time. So inhale and exhale. Clench your face, elbow straight. 1, block. 2, punch. 3, kick. 4, left hand block. 5, right hand punch. last one. Hold them in. Inhale. And exhale. 1, elbow strike. 2, marble punch. 3, kick. 4, punch. 5, 6, inhale. And exhale. So you can repeat the 10 times by yourself normally. Just marble, changed combo, and a kick, block, and punch. If you don't remember, you can check the video over and over again. Okay, breathing in. Good energy to repair your body. Breathing out. Release the tension from your body. Okay, let's finish here today.
Please like and subscribe so you could get more and more lessons.